All right, today I'm going to show you a few things to consider when you think about rope care. So a lot of these ropes are made of mixed materials, and so they definitely are going to react to the way that you treat them. So if it's something that you've been roping a lot with, it's actually going to warm up because of friction. And so if you rope with it for a while and then just kind of lay it down in a pile, it's going to kind of be ironed that way. It's like a shirt that you take out of the washer or dryer and just don't fold it. And so the first thing that I like to do is make sure that whatever coils you put in it when you store it are similar to the size coils that you're going to use when you're roping. If you like to coil it super tight, I wouldn't recommend that. It's going to kind of stay that way. It's going to be tighter. Over time, doing this to a rope will make it not last as long. Okay, so I like to have my coils be similar, if not a little bit bigger than what I actually use when I'm roping, when I store it. The other thing I like to do is if I'm actually storing it somewhere, either not necessarily on a hook, but on the floor, I like to leave at least a small loop already built. That way, none of this area straight behind the Hondu gets twisted because you have it coiled super tight. Now, I understand a lot of people put these in rope cans and different things like that. That is totally acceptable. Just try to get as big of a coil as you can before you put it in there. So that's one way to do it. When you set it down, I like to store my ropes when they're not on my saddles on the ground, just so that they stay consistent. I like my coils about as big as I use them, maybe a little bit bigger, and then my loop about one loop size, maybe a little smaller, and then I set it with the loop down just like that. Okay, you can certainly go the other way. It doesn't necessarily matter. That way, when I pick it up, it's ready to go. It's the same idea. If it's the other way, I pick it up with this hand and I have to swap hands, and I'm too lazy to do that. So when I store ropes, I like to lay them flat on the ground with one loop built and the coil's a little bit bigger than normal. If you like to hang them on hooks, that's not going to hurt them, but just know they will sag and they'll do different things over time. So these ropes have memory, and so if you aren't careful, you put a bad memory in there and they'll just kind of be kinked when you go to use them. The last thing that you kind of need to do is always assess the quality of your rope. Over time, they will start to hair out and do different things based on what you're doing. If you're roping with rubber, they're going to get filled with rubber on this back end. At a certain point in time, it's not going to be safe to use that rope anymore, so always be looking for that. In some other videos, we can show you how to maybe bring some more life back in this by either singeing off these or continuing to stretch them. One thing to consider, even though you haven't roped anything in a while that's heavy, it might make sense for you to take this rope to a post, go ahead and pull it tight, and then coil it. That way, any twisting that's been happening just from you spinning it will actually be undone, and then when you store it, it'll be basically new when you use it again. So if you like this video and want to see more videos just like this, please like and subscribe to the Startup Cowboy channel.